Oh.
I think America must see that riots do not develop out of thin air. Certain conditions continue to exist in our society, which must be condemned as vigorously as we condemn riots. But in the final analysis, a riot is the language of the unheard. What is it that America has failed to hear? It has failed to hear that the plight of the Negro poor has worsened over the last few years. It has failed to hear that the promises of freedom and justice have not been met. And it has failed to hear that large segments of white society are more concerned about tranquility and the status quo than about justice, equality, and humanity. And so in a real sense, our nation's summers of riots are caused by our nation's winters of delay. And as long as America postpones justice, we stand in the position of having these recurrences of violence and riots over and over again. Social justice and progress are the absolute guarantors of riot prevention.
Yeah, it's about that time, you already know. Turn the speakers up, man, it's
it's time to stop the show. Sean Tanner, Ryan Righteous, DJ Jeremiah. We bringing the heat, man, this joint be fire like, bruh. We in the field, we in the field, bruh. We in the field, we in the field. Just put it in work, we raising the bar. You tuned in to the Trackstarz.
Hey, yo, what's cracking? It's your man Lecrae, aka Crazy Crayola, the bond servant. Right now, you listening to the Trackstarz, Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, and Jeremiah. I see you, boy. Hold it down. Yeah.
Yeah, back in the field with the Trackstarz, Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah. Was good.
All right, this episode is sponsored by the upcoming film Selfie Dad. Going to be available on video on demand Father's Day weekend. Look for it on iTunes, Fandango Now, Prime Video, and Redbox on demand. The movie is starring Michael Jr. and Chonda Pierce. So make sure Father's Day weekend you tune in and check it out. All right.
Yo, we have a very special guest with us today. Ron G is with us. How you doing, sir?
Hey, what up, fellas? How y'all doing, man?
Good, man.
Good.
We've if you don't know, Ron G is a comedian. He's a writer. He's a lot of things. And we've
I'm an Emmy Award winner.
Emmy Award winning writer.
I work for that one.
Emmy Award winning writer. First at bat to the Emmys too. And he's been a friend of ours for a long time, man. We've known him. He's from South Carolina. Is that
born in South Carolina. Yeah.
But we've known him since he's been in Atlanta, and it was a big part of our lives. So we're super proud of him and so grateful that he, stepped down from on high and graced the stage with us today. Because we have a lot. we have a lot of respect for this young man. Man, he's amazing. So. Thank you for joining us, man. And I asked, normally, we have a special guest on. I want to get right to him and kind of get into it. But I asked him, like, yo, we got a lot going on. I want to hear what he has to say about what's going on. So if you haven't heard, check your pulse. But if you haven't heard, George Floyd was killed a few days ago, and the world is on fire. If you haven't seen the video, there's no way for me to describe how evil what happened to George Floyd was. What really touched me before I had even seen the video, I was hearing people in the CHA community talking about how they knew this brother. They knew him. Like he was on a godly path. He was a contributor to Christian hip hop community. He was involved, man. This ain't just some random dude that you could just ignore. Like this guy was involved, and when I heard that, I was like, oh man, this is gonna be bad. This is gonna be really bad. So when I finally saw the clip, I'm gonna just be honest with you. I couldn't watch the full unedited 9-minute clip until last night. I couldn't get myself to do it because I saw enough just with the edited stuff. But if you actually sit down and watch the full length, if you could walk away from that and not say anything, you have to check your heart. There's something wrong with you personally because it was so evil. Like I've literally been crying and angry, sometimes laughing, but I've had all the emotions this past week because it's just been crazy. But those moments of laughter, because when somebody says something true that I wasn't expecting to hear, it like breaks the tension in my heart. And I wanted to ask you first, Ron G, like as a comedian, like I saw you put a clip up on Instagram, being able to laugh through times like this. How is that even possible? And what is your emotions around what happened with George?
It's crazy. One, because I actually didn't watch the whole video. I got legit PTSD.
Yeah.
It's funny because I was shooting a TV show when it happened. I was shooting a TV show. It was like one of those prank TV shows.
Yeah.
And halfway through me pranking somebody, the cops pulled up with their guns. And it was like a week or two after Sandra Bland died.
Yeah.
So during that time, there was like 3 people that died that was like very visible around the world. And I was shooting the show and the cops pulled up with guns. And the producers didn't stop the show. And they recorded the entire thing. And so to be in this position like that, not have anybody come rescue you, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And then when I dropped the people off that I was pranking or whatever, I had a meltdown. And since then I was going to therapy and stuff like that. So back then I had my moment that people are having now.
Yeah.
Because I just realized it turned the switch on. So when I can't watch videos like that because it's triggering to me. So but that's when I had mine. So the moment that people are having now, I had mine a long time ago. But this particular moment I felt like is a very intentional moment in time. This is the poke in the bear moment. This is the meeting in the conference room where you have to talk to your coworker about the unspoken. Like this is when you with your person and something's been going on for a long time, but nobody said it. This is the reset button that I feel like God is having with the world, because everything we built this country on is revealed right now. We built this country on pride and ourselves on being capitalism, and you realize capitalism is based off demand, and gas is the cheapest it's ever been. You know what I'm saying? And if it's off demand, then why are they giving away gas for $1? You know what I'm saying? You can get an airline ticket to Dubai right now for $7.
Wow.
And any other time, the ticket is at least $2,000. Especially, I couldn't go to my grandfather's funeral last year because the tickets were so expensive, and I was like, yo, this is stupid. And again, I feel like this is a reset button from racism to privilege to lack of leadership and just capitalism. It's just a reminder that God just reminded us that everything is fragile right now, even our health, and we're still in quarantine and all this stuff is happening. This is just how fragile and how vulnerable we are, and this is the reset button. This is what, in order to heal something, you got to expose it, and this is the world and our particular country and the ugly side of us getting exposed so we can actually deal with it. So I'm kind of glad it's happening. I hate that, somebody had to be the face of it. And, it breaks my heart about what George Floyd, his family had to go through. But this is reconciliation moment.
Wow. What'd you guys think?
Yeah, it was definitely a tough week. There's a couple of things that have stood out in my mind. I mean, I've been watching news coverage for the last couple of days. I've watched people in our city go out. I've watched friends on social media post about it. But the thing that got me the most was the audio that was in the video, and hearing George call out his mom and talk about how he loved her, and to know that, she's dead.
Yeah, she had died.
And so, yeah. And so it was so scary because it was like he was calling out his own death, right? And I never seen that with someone who had not already been on their deathbed or prior, sick or something like that. So that part to me was just gut wrenching. Listening to his brother, talk about injustice and we need justice was really hard. Listening to him say, my big brother would never be here. Like, he has kids, things like that. It just, I was telling my mother yesterday, I was like, I feel that anger because a $20 bill or a counterfeit check or a counterfeit bill, whatever it was, is not enough for you to take a life, right? And it's not enough for us to sit here and feel that he should still be alive. He should still be alive. He really should still be alive. And it's just, man, when you look at the video and you look at the memes of the officer, he had his hands in his pocket. It was just so demoralizing. It was so devastating to see no emotion on his face. Like, he just didn't care. Like he was posing for the camera. That's what it looked like. He was posing. That's what I
do. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there was absolutely he had no regard for that man's life. None. Like there were people screaming, check his pulse. He's not moving. Check his pulse. He hasn't moved for 3 minutes. Get off of him and check his pulse. No, nothing. After he stopped moving, after they said he has no pulse, he didn't move his knee for another 3 minutes.
But what was the whole 8 minute of the knee thing anyway? Why didn't they just cuff him and put him in the back of the car and take him away? What was the need for the 8 minutes?
He was cuffed. He wasn't
cuffed. Okay.
He wasn't fighting.
Cuff him and put him in the car though. Like, why was he still on the ground?
He fell. And then they decided to keep him there. What they said was they called the EM because he was complaining about breathing before that, and they decided to hold him down instead of helping him like a normal human being would help somebody. Why the lack of care for his life was unbelievable. And the guy that was standing warding off people, the cop that was standing up that you see in the video and in the clips.
Is that the Asian guy?
Yes, he had no regard. And I don't know if this is true. Again, internet stuff, you don't know what's confirmed until it's confirmed. But they have a relationship. I think the white officer that was kneeling is married to his sister or something. So there's already a camaraderie between the two of them where it's like, yo, why won't you go help?
Yeah.
Why won't you go do something? And just his lack of care. It was. I had to watch my dad die last year. It's been almost a year since I had to watch my dad lose his life in front of my face. This was the second hardest thing I've had to see since then. I had to watch this man lose his life. Like, you could see the moment where it was just he gave up, and for them not to even check on him. You all right, man? You good? Everything okay? Nothing. It was the most evil thing I've seen.
I would say, man, it's hard, man. It's hard. I mean, it's almost a back-to-back thing. You know what I mean? I mean, the Aubrey case, and then the young lady who got shot in her house, and then this. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot, man. It's a lot. So it was just hard. I saw the video and I saw part of it, and I was like, I can't. Like, I was angry about it because I felt like everything you guys are saying is true. Like, it was just like he didn't have no. Like, he could have done something different, but he chose not to do something different. If you get what I mean, like he didn't have to put his knee on the back of his neck. Like, he didn't have to do that. Like, he didn't have to do that. Like, and to me, it just seems like, and I always said this, and I've said this before, the approach from the police towards black men is totally different than white men. You know what I mean? And people just don't, I don't know why people don't realize it. Like, I posted something this morning, a video of a white man. I was on Twitter, a white guy. He's like got something in his hand going towards the police, and they trying to calm him down. It's almost like if you ever saw the movie Higher Learning, when after they beat up Omar Epps, they go towards Michael Rappaport character, and they comment. He has a gun in his hand, and they trying to talk him out of like killing himself, and he killed himself anyway. And it's just like the approach is different, and I think that's what we are upset about. Besides his death of him dying the way he died, is your approach towards us. It's totally different than other races, and it's not fair.
But
it's a problem.
I feel like this country too, we do two things great. One is racism. We like the Golden State Warriors of racism and undefeated dynasty. The only people who can do it better than us is Great Britain. And then also we do ignorance well. And if you notice, we live in a country of victim shaming. Like, that's what this country does more than anything else. This is the only country where a woman will get raped and people be like, well, she shouldn't have dressed like that. Or, they'd be like, immigrants are taking our jobs. I'm like, who hired the immigrants? Like, they busted went to a plant, like a meat packing plant in Kentucky. And they like rounded up all these immigrants or whatever, because they were like illegal, but didn't touch the people who own the company. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. And
especially even with our country and police brutality, man, or you think about slavery. Like, police would do the most heinous stuff to us and hang us and be like, well, he was disobedient, to like reconcile their own sin. You know what I'm saying? So this is what our country is known for, man. But even think about the conversation we're having right now. We got 4 black men watching this stuff, and when it gets into your system, man, you legitimately have PTSD. Like, I can't watch them. Like, I can't watch a lot of those videos. Like, I take my time. If I can watch it, I can. If I don't, I stay away from it because my heart can't take it. I get angry. And I get my PTSD flare up, and I don't know what to do with it. I get angry.
Yeah, I chose, and that's the one thing. I chose not to show the Ahmaud Arbery killing when we talked about that, and I chose not to show this killing today because I'm just tired of seeing it, man. I had to watch it because I know I have to be factual when I talk about this stuff, or people use any little thing to say, oh, well, you don't really know what you're talking about and all that kind of stuff. So I do it because I know I'm fighting not just against, there's tons of people where they'll find any excuse to discredit all of this and ignore this and move on with their lives. But I'm trying my best to say, okay, I actually know what happened here. I actually know. And I normally don't engage online, but I had several arguments yesterday. I just had to admit I had several arguments because I was just like, I'm tired. I'm tired of Christians. I'm tired of white Christians making excuses for this. I just have to be honest, and I have to apologize because a lot of times on this show, I've said, you know what, let's not talk about that because we have white fans too. I don't want to alienate them. This ain't just a black show. But I'm tired of doing that, man. If you don't see this as a problem, you can go somewhere else. Honestly, we're black men. We're Christians. This matters to us, and it should matter to you too. Now, I just don't understand the lack of care. If you're a Christian, how could you not care about this?
Yeah.
How could you not care about us? Weep with those who weep, mourn with those who mourn. Why are you not mourning right now? Why are you making excuses for this man? I'm.
But it hurts.
This ain't
me
the
too,
day.
'cause I think about even when you give a person privilege, there's so many blind spots to privilege that you can't even have compassion for a human being. Like the fact that I'm a black person from the hood, you see every different type of person, and you know I can look in a person's eyes within 2 seconds and tell if they're mentally ill or not.
Yeah.
But again, when you're not around people that are like that,
Absolutely.
and you see them, they're a threat to you, and it just hurts my heart that I have a sister that's mentally ill or whatever, but I can tell when somebody's not all the way there. But I've seen video footage of somebody who's autistic or something and can't control themselves, and you're asking them to remain calm while they're in a very threatening position.
Yeah.
And stuff like that breaks my heart. But again, when you don't know us, you can't police us.
And that explains what Jeremiah was talking about, why there's such a big difference between how we're treated. When you see somebody that looks like you or looks like somebody you have a compassion for them. You can make excuses for them. You can give them the benefit of the doubt because you know people like them. If you see this person that looks threatening to you and you have no reference for them, you have no regard for them. And that's what we feel. And for the people watching this at home, they're like, you know what? Here they go again, talking about this stuff again. It's not always about race and blah, blah, blah. And the reaction I saw to what was going on in Atlanta last night and the comments that I saw flowing from Christians online about that, if you can look at that and not see that is your fault, you're missing something. The reaction to what happened last night in Atlanta and across the world is the reason why we have this problem. Because you're going to use that as an excuse to kill the next person next time. They act like animals. Look at how they're reacting. Look at how they are. And I feel so bad because they looted Fifth Plaza. They hit up the Omni and the CNN Center. And they're going to use that as a reason to kill the next black person.
But they're gonna the courthouse in Michigan. They went to like the state house in Michigan.
They went to the White House. They went everywhere.
No, with guns though. They had guns.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
And nothing happened.
Guns.
Nothing happened. No tear gas. No show of force. No curfew.
But this one is different though.
Nothing.
This is like this moment in time is very different. Where they got white people fighting on the front lines with us. Like I seen this cop push this white lady so hard in Minnesota. He pushed her to my app store. Like she was. Hey, bruh, he pushed her from my phone screen to my app store. I'm like, what you doing? She was right next to Candy Crush. Like, I want to get out of here. I'm like, I don't know how to help you, man. Like, he pushed her from the riot all the way to the app store.
Yeah.
One of the things that bothers me is when I see people in this time still talking about trivial stuff, right? Like, to me, when you have a situation like this and you can still say something about the lockdown, right? You can still say something about reopening the government. It's like, we'll come back to that. But right now we have a more important pressing issue. I got mad at somebody the other day on social media. It was just like, don't you hate it when your neighbors walk their dogs and just let them go all in your yard? I was like, what? Like, are you seriously putting this on social media right now? We got other issues.
That are real Saint the time. Saint the time.
Yeah. With the half naked selfies. Selling your tummy tea? Like, not now, fam. Put the tea up. We need to. The world falling apart. You're trying to sell some tummy tea. Put your clothes back on.
Exactly. And it's just
on Monday.
It's the ability not to care that's part of that privilege that we're talking about. And I'll say this: I'm pro-life as well. I understand the desire for you to be pro-life, but a lot of you Christians, a lot of you evangelical Christians, love you. You're term life Christians. You're not whole life Christians. You're term life. You only care about life for a little bit of time. You don't care about the whole life. If you were really pro-life, you would care about this more than you do. I don't want to hear you complain about no embryos and babies in the womb if you don't care about this. You're a hypocrite.
Yeah.
You're not really pro-life. I am. You're not. So I'm just tired of the excuses. I'm done with it.
That's real.
You have to participate. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's the measuring stick for a Christian, ain't it? Being pro-life and pro-choice, isn't that a measuring stick?
It is, and they only care about black lives until they look menacing to them.
Yeah.
They love black babies. They don't care about black men.
Man, when I hear white people like, I don't see color, like you never see colors at the cop show up. Like it was a black guy. Yeah, he was a Negro. Yeah, he was kind of an urban
Albany.
Urban Albany.
Like a beige-ish kind of individual. I'm not saying he's black. I mean, he's urban. He told me to put a leash on my dog.
You know, a lot
that happened this week too. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
That happened this week too.
We're only talking about one of the 10 things that happened this week. One of the 10.
Yeah.
Being black this week.
And then Kylie Jenner is not a billionaire. Isn't that crazy?
You go put Kylie Jenner with us, right?
I did. I went there. I knew it was a lie. I knew it.
You know what else is a problem too, and this is the start of the problem is, they keep talking about the rise of the Karens. That is definitely a problem because you see on social media that they capture them on video too, just making black lives more miserable, making black lives harder, making the situation escalate. Like Sean said the other day on our call, he was like, I would feel terrible if I was that person who called in the check, the fraudulent check or the forgery or whatever. Like, okay, all right, yeah. So somebody got away with that, right? I mean, Jeremiah's been in a situation where he said, he's worked for a company and they were getting robbed, and it's like, yo, step back and let them take what they got to take because life is not worth that.
Well, we can all have a fake $20 bill right now.
Yeah, like how am I supposed to
know it? And not know it.
Common.
But I will say this too, man, because the media has a lot of control over how we're viewed. And that's why I feel like even as black people, words are important. Like we are responsible for how we're viewed. We're not responsible for it, but we can help in the and how we talk to each other.
Yeah.
And how we're seeing each other. Like for me being a black comedian, I'm a clean black comedian. And I'm mindful of how I present myself. Because even when I'm mad sometimes, I can't do it because it's not the right time to be mad.
Right.
You gotta decide whether you want to be a nigga. Shut up and get that check. You don't have that moment at work where, somebody say something slick, is nice, nasty, and you gotta decide you want to be a nigga. But you get that check. Or you at the office party and they're like, hey, come on, show me that dance. We know you know it. And you gotta decide whether you want to be a nigga. We all have that moment. But again, man, I don't know what it is where they depreciate our skin just because we showed up, man. Like, think about it. One of the biggest shows on Netflix to date is Tiger King.
Yes.
What's the difference between Tiger King and Michael Vick?
Yeah.
What's the difference? What's the difference between Michael Vick and Tiger King? Besides the animal.
That's true.
That's true.
Now, I do hate Carol Baskin, and I know she killed her husband. Yes. I'm proud of her killing her husband. But we know she did it. Yes. Carol Baskin killed her husband. She whacked him.
I saw that video
Tiger
too.
King when we talked down about Michael Vick, and he did his time. He did his time.
And he can't even get, every time they want to put him like in a Hall of Fame or something, it's like, no, we can't, because they're going to protest it.
Can't even let him be the captain of the Pro Bowl, like crazy stuff.
Like, it's like, why?
Well,
they won't let him get a Sam's Club membership.
Well, we had this conversation. We had this conversation a couple of years ago, and I remember, I don't know if there's anybody on this show. I think it was more of the comments of the universe. When I said that there's certain things that I have to go through in order not to get myself caught up, right? Like I said, when I go into a store to buy hair care products, I always go to the front counter to make sure they see my face and make sure they see my eyes, and so that they don't think that I'm somebody that needs to walk around. I don't wear my wave cap when I'm driving anymore because I've been pulled over by the police for having on a wave cap, right? And so it's unfair, but it's something that we have to teach young black men, is that you have to look inconspicuous as much as you can, because you're going to get profiled if you don't. And, I work for the nonprofit organization that works with young adults to help get them acclimated with society and culture and how to dress properly and stuff like that. And when we talk about the different hairstyles that they may want to avoid, they get offended. And it's like, but you understand that what we're telling you is to save you from a lot of anguish and a lot of pain. And I think a lot of people shunned me that time when I spoke about this, saying like, you shouldn't have to do all that. Why are you jumping through hoops? You shouldn't. But I'm also a father of 3 young girls, and I want to make it home, right? I've been in situations where I've had road rage and somebody got mad at me and jumped out the car, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna keep my eyes looking forward because I got to get home. You know, it was actually on my birthday, and so I'm like, I got to make it home today. So I can't look back at him and give him a nasty look. Otherwise, it's gonna be on. Same thing with the police, right? Same thing. Yeah. So we, as black men, we have to go that extra mile. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it gives you comfort and peace to return back home. And I know a lot of people don't agree.
I was going to say this too, man. I feel like it's also in our toolbox. As a young black kid, you learn at an early age, you have to do a lot of stuff just to make white people comfortable. Like if you're approaching them and it's a dark road, and it's just y'all two, you got to speak first to make sure they're ready.
Yes.
Or when you get on the elevator, we got to stand closer to the buttons, because if you stand in the back and a white lady come up, it's going to be a problem. But you got to stand next to the buttons. So when you pull up, you know, around white folks, you got to turn your music down. Like, it's just so much stuff that we have to do that's in our DNA that we have to do just to make them comfortable.
What do we have to, help me, what do we have to say to convince you? Like, I just don't know what else needs to be said. We show you the video. I'm telling you that I'm not talking about other black people. I'm talking about me. I'm scared. This is not just some theoretical thing we're talking about here. Yeah. We are scared. You don't believe us neither? You think we making it up? Yeah. What does it take? I just don't understand.
It's willful ignorance. They can have a whole pet wolf instead of a black man with no arms. They can have a whole pet gorilla and a wolf in the house, kissing them in the mouth. And we're a threat because we're waiting on some coffee with our friend.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm tired. I'm tired, man.
By the way, I'm right there.
Yeah, please do that.
You know, Sean
is working on some material right now. Remember where you got this one from.
after Philando Castile was killed, I made a comment to Sean, and it was basically like, there's nothing else we can do. Right, we have shown our hands.
I remember that.
We have shown our hands. We have put him on 10 and 2 on the steering wheel. Right, and I don't carry a weapon, but he even said that I have a concealed weapon. I have a weapon in the car, and so it's just like, at what point are we gonna say, all right, do we stop driving? Is this quarantine the best situation to keep us alive? Yeah. You know what? That was
they won't even think you driving it.
When I was working back at 107.9, I was too enamored with the whole, you know, celebrity radio life and rapper lifestyle.
Paperboy.
And I had a black car.
He's not lying, ladies and gentlemen. I saw it. I was there.
Black car, black tinted windows, and black rims. And I was pulled over, and I was just like, my dad was terrified. He was like, man, you got me in this car driving.
You fit the description.
Yeah. You look like this. Paper boy, like you've been, you know, dealing out paper. And I was just like, yeah. And I didn't realize it until I got back to work one day, and I had a brand new boss. Distinguished black man, and I said, you know, brand new boss. Yeah, like he had just got
phrase to sound funny. Like he came on Amazon and mail. And he was black too. He was the last one on the show. The last one. One more and stop.
And it didn't hit me until we were going out on a sales call, and I was just like, I'll drive. And I had just gotten my car washed, and I thought, oh man, I'm gonna impress him. And he walked out. And he looked at my car. He was like, this is what you drive? And I was like, yeah. He said, no, we're going to take my car. And I was just like, oh. And I didn't realize it, but he just explained to me. He said, that is a menacing looking vehicle that you're driving right now. He was like, you're going to scare anybody who you pull up to that know who you are.
And what kind of car was it? And that's when
it was a black Volvo. But it was all black. It was crazy. Yeah, it was all black. It was all black.
I don't know a black person that owns
like Christine. Remember that car movie, Christine?
I got that too. Yeah.
He pulled up in an all black Subaru, like Subaru. He's a murderer. A Subaru?
Yeah.
It was a station wagon, all black.
I got pictures of it, man. The
rims on it. A Subaru.
Yeah, it was crazy. And so you learn at an early age to mature yourself past certain things. I called one of my friends the other day, and I was like, remember when we used to ride around with 15s in our trunks and bumping loud music? You know,
Jeez.
that was cool until we saw Jordan Davis get killed for it. Like, oh, come on, man. We can't do anything anymore.
Yeah, and it's sad that I don't think people realize that. I mean, I just had PTSD when Ron was talking about all the things he had to do about the elevator and turn your music down. Like, this is real. This is my everyday. I ride around my neighborhood and I turn the music down sometimes and I turn it up other times. Why am I doing that? Because I'm worried that y'all gonna say something and turn me into somebody that's gonna kill me. Like, I literally fear all the time. Do I have to tell you this every week? We gotta talk about this every week? This is
Ron,
real.
check this out. What's out. I was in my driveway and my white neighbor pulled up to me and was like, "Hey, do you live here? What are you waiting on somebody? What are you doing here?" And I was like, "I own this house." And he was just like, "Oh, okay, all right, well, that's fine." Like,
I raised you one in my condo.
Okay.
There's a parking garage. One is covered and the other one's like has a door on it. And me and this white lady pulled up in my garage at the same time. And so she backed her truck into the garage, but I think she was anticipating us getting out the car at the same time to go to the same door to go inside the building. And she got out so fast and pressed the button from the door to go inside the building and closed the garage down on her hood.
Oh, wow.
So she had to get back in her car and back it up and then go back in the, inside the building. But then she had to speak to me. And I was like, you got to go through all that? Like, just not to speak to me? But you close the garage door down on your car? Like, what are you doing? Stupid.
Oh, man.
So too, man. It's so funny, man. Like, we just live in a time where there's so much stuff we have to do. Like, we've been so acclimated to like making sure they're comfortable that it drives me nuts when I hear a black woman say, "I'm going natural."
Yeah.
Like, you're going natural. The way your hair naturally grows out your head, you call it going natural because of what you're used to, what your standard is.
That's crazy.
Versus like, I'm just letting my hair grow. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going natural. No, your hair is like, that's how it's supposed to be.
That's interesting.
It's ingrained in us too, and that's why I think there's a disconnect because people say, "Well, what if the cop was black? Would you still?" Black people are racist too towards black people. It's ingrained in us too. We've learned to be.
You see some people. Click.
We've learned to be afraid of each other as well. Like this, it's permeated us.
Is that really racism though? Is that really racism? Just say it. We're scared of niggas. I said it.
You in the field today. I ain't apologizing for none of this.
Yes.
But no, seriously, like, so just because a cop that may be black, I've been harassed by black cops. Like that makes no difference. It's
the worst ones, bro.
Yeah, because it's this idea of I have power. These are my friends. I'm protecting the shield. I see you the same way they do, honestly. So I'm gonna just like
Officer Jackson, if your name.
it's no different sometimes. So that's not an excuse. That doesn't detract away from what we're talking about. It's still the idea that black people inherently are animals or they're less than. And they're going to use these images that they're showing on TV right now to prove why they're going to do it again in the future. Cop is going to say, look at what I have to deal with. And they're going to say, that's why I'm scared. And then it goes start all over again, over and over again.
So my question is for you fellas, man, how do you manage the anger? How do you manage that chip on your shoulder? For me, sometimes I got to unplug and make sure I keep my light bright. Because if I don't, I want to be in dark on the stage and I can't let it affect my heart. How do you all unpack a lot of that trauma that we go through? Like, because again, all of us watching these videos all the time. Like, you see at least 5 of these videos a day. Or when something happened, how many times a day do you say, "Man, if they was black"? How many times you say that a day?
That's very true.
Up to 6 a day. Like, if they was
man,
black,
we wouldn't have got away with that one. Yeah, I would say this. As a Christian, you have the ultimate stabilizer, right? Vengeance is the Lord's. And you have to constantly remind yourself that I can take vengeance out myself. I could go out and break some stuff and hit somebody or whatever, but it's never going to be as complete and as fine-tuned and as righteous and as pure as if God dealt with that situation. I have to trust that he actually cares about this too. And if I let him take vengeance on the people that need vengeance, taking care of them, then he's going to make sure that something actually changes. If I do it, I'm gonna make the news. I'm gonna be in jail. I'm gonna be without my family. Like there's no way I can really do it purely. So I really believe God cares. I really believe God exists, and I really believe God is a God of justice. And I trust that He is gonna bring justice. I do.
That is the Christian answer. But if somebody touched my wife, bro,
Oh,
Not lay on these hands.
I told everybody on the call, if this was my brother that got killed, I'm throwing something at something. I ain't saying what. I ain't saying who. I'm not saying
touch my
who.
lady, and I can hear her crying for her life, bro.
Throwing
It's
something.
going to be a problem. So I can't wait on God on this one. I have to, God, I got this one.
I
Just
told
get
him
me out of jail.
And that's part of the problem is it's easier to get by if this doesn't hit you at home.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to tell people that if this was your family member, how would you respond? It should be the same response here.
Yeah.
It should be the same care here. Why is it different? Because if this happened to you, you would want somebody to defend you too, right?
Yeah.
No?
I think the scary part about it is when you see people filming the situation and want to do something, but then you realize, like, if I jump out there, then I'm about to start fighting the cops. And fighting the cops is totally different than fighting.
But it's strength in numbers too, though, man. Sometimes
Yeah.
that adrenaline be flowing. If a bunch of people make it plain and at least try to help the person out that's on the ground about some time, that's a good starting point.
So that's a good point. The last thing, and some people brought this up on our call. The thing that really made me cry watching the video is the whole time it's something inside of me said, I still feel like while you're watching it, you still feel like if you yell loud enough, they'll stop. It's that feeling of, man, if I was there, what would I have done to make them stop? Should I have actually intervened? Should I have pushed them? Even if it cost me my life, what could I have done in that situation? Because I'm sitting there at my screen and in the moment, I know this is already past. I'm still like, get off. What are you doing? And
Hey, Ryan, what was that exhale, Ryan?
Because I felt that same thing when I was watching it. It was just like, what do you do? What do you do in that moment?
Would you? Because the only thing in my crazy brain was, would you go over and push them off? Like even if they come and attack you, at least it'll give them a chance to. I mean, like what could you do
My
in that
instincts
moment?
is like crazy. I done pushed the bouncer because he touched my wife. Like this dude way bigger than me. I don't know what I was thinking, but he was like, "Yo, back up," and he pushed my lady. I'm like, I just pushed him back, like, bro, don't touch my lady. Like we can hear you. Like just tell us what to do, but don't touch her. And so my instincts in general, I'm not one of those people like what I would have did was I'm not one of those people. But again, I don't like seeing people get hurt. I just personally. I can't watch fight videos. I can't watch, people getting slapped, getting their head slapped all the way around. I don't like watching people get hurt. So just my natural instincts be want to at least like run and push them and just keep running or something. You know what I'm saying? Just to buy some time, man.
Yeah, and that's what I felt. So what? Okay, so we feel like this is bad. This is outrageous. What are we supposed to do? What are the people on the street yelling and confronting? What is the right way to do this? What's the answer?
But the problem is too, though. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
I think the right answer is what they're doing, honestly, because I feel like, I mean, people don't like riots, but at the same time, it's like when we tell, every generation has been told to do something that they feel like it's no more, like we can't do this no more. It's not working. You know what I mean? That's what you're constantly hearing. You've seen the people comments online like, hey, man, we've been praying, we've been protesting, we've been singing, we've been doing all this. And we riot. Now what's next? You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. We're hearing people say, what's next? That's crazy after rioting. Like if riot don't work, what we gonna do next? Start killing people? So I think the thing is letting people do their anger, because sooner or later it's gonna stop. I mean, people ain't gonna.
They've been poking the bear for over 400 years. You can't keep poking the bear and expect nothing to happen.
Yeah. So I think that's just one of those things where it's just like, I think let people get out their frustration. Let people get out their frustration and let people really share how they feel. You know what I mean? And really talk and let America hear the anger that they created.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all saw this though, but the Atlanta chief of police, she did something really dope, man. She was down there on ground level at the CNN Center listening to the people, and they were angry and yelling at her, and people hostile, but she still tried to listen. And I feel like that's a great starting point, because it's not our responsibility to make it work with the police. The police have to make it work with us.
Absolutely.
If you've been abusive in the household and you change your life and get saved, and now you want to act like ain't nothing happened, like no, you got to repair the damage you did. You can't just say I love God now and I'm better. It's like being in an abusive relationship, and we've been in that. We've been the battered wife in America, for over 400 years. We the away team. Black people being black in America is being the away team your entire life, and white folks got a 400-year home court advantage. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And we'll always have it. It's not our responsibility to make us feel accommodating.
Yeah, and I broke down watching that because the second young lady that talked, you could see that just being able to be heard without a defense, and that's the last thing I want to say before we go, because I've been hearing from white brothers and sisters that care, that want to be helpful. The thing that you have to resist is the urge to defend yourself. This is not the time. Even if you are participating and you're trying to do the right thing and voice your assistance and all that kind of stuff, and you get backlash from people, well, that's not enough. You got to take that. You got to hold your tongue, and you just got to do the right thing, even if it's not received, even if it's not accepted, even if you get stuff back that you feel is not fair. You have to hold your tongue, and I'm not good at that. When I feel like I'm being wrong and something is said that's wrong, I get angry. But you have to try. This is not the time to defend yourself and say, well, that's not me, and da-da-da. It's not helpful right now. Just do the right thing and be quiet. Because all that extra, well, I didn't do it, and no, I've been doing this, and that is irrelevant right now. Please, just take the blows.
Too, man. It's like in a relationship, and even with when you adopt an animal, you take into consideration people who've been through stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like when you meet somebody, you can tell they have thorns. You listen. You don't just say, "Oh, you was raped before." Like, what? You've been raped? I didn't do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you know that there's a cost that comes along with it. When you adopt an animal and the animal's been through trauma, you know what I'm saying? There's certain things that's going to set them off. So the fact that you can listen to somebody in your family, somebody you date, you can listen to see an animal has been through some stuff. When a black person tell you, look, stop killing me, it immediately goes to, you guys are complaining. You guys are angry. You guys are.
What did he do?
I gotta see the entire footage. Like, we don't get the luxury of having mental illness. We don't get the luxury of having trauma. We don't get the luxury of having PTSD. We don't get the luxury of not staying calm. Everybody else get to do it.
Yeah.
You got to understand, when a gun in our face, we need to remain calm, or your knee is in my back, I have to remain calm. That's not fair.
Yeah.
And again, I know I'm running my mouth too much, but as a black person, when did you learn that the world is not fair? You have to learn this at an early age, that they can say fair all the time. When they make arguments, well, it's not fair that immigrants get this, it's not fair that black, like, we know it's not fair. From the time you're a kid and you see that one kid get something that you didn't get, and they didn't even work half as hard as you, or you know what I'm saying? Like, you playing this white football team and all of them trash and they get a trophy too. And you're like, whoa. How they get a trophy? They lost them. They get a trophy too? Like, it's not fair.
Yeah.
No, that's good.
We're not allowed to use that word.
That's good. All right. So hope you hear it. We'll be back with more Ron G. So stay tuned. You in the field with the Trackstarz, Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner.
Chris, Ratchet friends, Ratchet friends, Ratchet friends, Ratchet friends. I like to kick it with my ratchet friend. I like to kick it with my ratchet friend. I like to kick it with my ratchet friends. I like to kick it with my ratchet friends. Every picture throwing signs and they cut up all the time. Yo, kick it with my kind face, cars never decline. Yo, they ratchet and they Lord God. Pull up on the squad, yo, rooted like a garden. Cool and watching Martin. Speaking some foreign, thought you understood Martian. My partner got a carbon, you can never be too cautious. Chopping up Colossians and all black voices. Angels for enforcements, ballin' need endorsements. Ratchet friends. Ratchet friends. Ratchet friends. Ratchet friends. I like to kick it with my ratchet friend. I like to kick it with my ratchet friend. I like to kick it with my ratchet friends. I like to kick it with my ratchet friends.
Let's pull up to my mama crib. Me and my partner discussing the business plan, I'm getting the meal. That mean we running and chasing after the bag and never the deal. We tryna change lives, that's what matters, keeping it real. See the factors, see what you after. Gotta watch your back, see some pastors, be the actor. They on some way, I'm with the guy, so when the bag hit, I'm with a bad chick. Hold up, I'm so far from every day.
Ratchet friends.
Ratchet friends. Why she so ratchet? Ratchet friends. Ratchet friends. I like to kick it with my ratchet friends. I like to kick it with my ratchet friends. I like to kick it with my ratchet friends. I like to kick it with my ratchet friends. Pull up in that coupe with that ratchet troop. Demon run, we shoot, screaming hallelujah. Sauced up with the juice, I'm a savage too. Water on my juice like they from Peru. Pretty came with Nikki, better came with shoes. They stay in the world, but they get ratchet too. She in Walmart in pajamas, but she still stay with her mama. She just waiting for the summer. She gon' vacate in Bahamas. Ooh, ratchet friends. Ratchet friends. Ratchet friends. Ratchet friends. I like to kick it with my ratchet friends. I like to kick it with my ratchet friends. I like to kick it with my ratchet friends. I like to kick it with my ratchet friends.
This show is brought to you by Trackstarz. Allow us to produce a podcast to help build community engagement around your brand. We can record and edit a podcast specifically designed to reach your target market and utilize social media to create or enhance a loyal following. Go to trackstarz.com/brands. Again, that's trackstarz.com/brands.
What's up? This is No Big Deal representing Middle Tennessee and Indie Tribe. You are now in the field with the Trackstarz.
It's time for the Entertainment Report with Jeremiah.
All right, man, it's Entertainment Report time. Let's get it going, man. Of course, we just talked about George Floyd, man, but we want to talk about some stuff that people may not know about him, about his legacy in Houston. He was part of a mentoring program that was helping young men, and it was a Person of Peace Ushering Ministries in his area of Houston before moving to Minneapolis for a job opportunity through a Christian work program. He spent his life in the historic Black area, 3rd Ward, where he was called Big Floyd and regarded as an OG in his neighborhood, man. And he was really big on like helping the community out, helping disciple young Black men, and just like in his area, he was known for being that guy. You know what I mean? Our guy, Corey Paul, said that the platform for us to reach the neighborhood and the hundreds of people we reach through the time and up to now was built on the back of Floyd. He also said, I love what he was doing. He said to them that if the neighborhood needed it, the community needed it, if y'all about God's business, then that's my business. That's what he was saying. And then also reconcile, a Christian hip hop artist, for people who don't know, he said, whatever y'all needed, whatever y'all need to go, tell Floyd and he have us. He helped me push the baptism tub over, understanding that people were going to make a decision of faith and get baptized right there in the middle of the project. He thought that was amazing. The things that he would say to young men always reference that God trumps street culture. He said, I think he wanted to see young men put guns down and have Jesus instead of the streets. So, man, you know what I mean? That legacy that he left in Houston, man, and even that, like, I don't know if you guys follow Steven Jackson. Yeah. Like him and like Steven Jackson called him like bro, like, because he was like they met each other. People said they look alike, and everything. And yeah, man. So shouts out to George Floyd's family, man. It's a lot, man. But just knowing that that he was about helping people, man. And the sad part about it is that somebody took his life not knowing that, you know what he was about, man. And
he shouldn't. I mean, they worked at the same place sometimes. So if he had taken the time, you would have known him.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. My last story is Mr. Solo. Remember we reported last week, Mr. Solo of the Gospel Gangsters passing away. We talked about his impact on the genre, what it meant to our community. So his family asked about, started a GoFundMe, and the fundraiser will be used to assist his expenses for his children, and as well helping his family in his time. The goal is $20,000 at this time. Last time I checked was $8,500. If you want to donate to it, it's GoFundMe.com for the family of Mr. Solo. Any amount will help. So if, like we talked about, Gospel Gangsters, the group that started in the 90s of Christian hip hop. If you want to go help his family out, please go to that GoFundMe and help them out. Comment section this week: Ryan Lamar, A Perfect Mess, Volume 1, Yaz, and It Springs, Ear 2, Yuzon, The Uncanny, Kyle Alexander, Go Get It single, Aha Gazelle, Am I Gold single, Kanata Small, Run the Town single, Ruslan, Let You Down single, Drew Becks and K Sade, Never Odd or Even single, Natalie Lauren, Just Breathe single, Latoria, Becoming single, and Microphone, Living Water single. Ryan, what's good?
Yeah, nothing from me this week, man. We had some Nectar releases last week and got some coming up this week, but nothing new came out this week, just a bunch of re-releases.
Okay, cool.
All right, man. Let's get back into it. We'll be back with Ron J. You in the field with the Trackstarz. You in the field with the Trackstarz. Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah. Let's go.
Chris, Ratchet friends, Ratchet friends, Ratchet friends, Ratchet friends. I like to kick it with my ratchet friend. I like to kick it with my ratchet friend. I like to kick it with my ratchet friends. I like to kick it with my ratchet friend. Every picture throwing signs and they cut up all the time. Yo, kick it with my kind face, cars never decline. Yo, they ratchet and they lord guard. Pull up on the squad, yo, rooted like a garden. Cool and watching Martin. Speaking some foreign, thought you understood Martian. My partner got a carbon, you can never be too cautious. Chopping up Colossians and all black voices. Angels for enforcements, ballin' need endorsements. Ratchet friends. Ratchet friends. Ratchet friends. Ratchet friends. I like to kick it with my ratchet friend. I like to kick it with my ratchet friend. I like to kick it with my ratchet friends. I like to kick it with my ratchet friends. Let's pull up to my mama crib. Me and my partner discussing the business plan on getting the meal. That mean we running and chasing after the bag and never the deal. We tryna change lives, that's what matters, keeping it real. See the factor, see what you after. Gotta watch your back, see some pastors, be the actor. They on some way, I'm with the guy, so when the bag hit, I'm with a bad chick. Hold up, I'm so far from average, yeah. Ratchet friends. Ratchet friends. Ratchet friends. I like to kick it with my ratchet friend. I like to kick it with my ratchet friend. I like to kick it with my ratchet friends. I like to kick it with my ratchet friends. Pull up in that coupe with that ratchet troop. Demon run, we shoot, screaming hallelujah. Sauced up with the juice, I'm a savage too. Water on my juice like they from Peru. Pretty cat with Nikki, better cat with shoes. They stay in the world, but they get ratchet too. She in Walmart in pajamas, but she still stay with her mama. She just waiting for the summer, she gon' vacate in Bahamas. Ooh, ratchet friends. Ratchet friends. Ratchet friends. Ratchet friends.
As the main editor of a reality TV show called
Rosie's Roses. You made me look like a moron, for heaven's sakes.
I used to be a comic. It's where my heart is.
If comedy's your thing, dude, why aren't you out there running with it?
There's no way, man. I got a family.
Can you help out around the house? Jack needs help with his math homework.
I'll fix the toilet. You're watching a video. That's not math.
This guy is funny. He has to be. He's a millionaire.
Millionaire?
Nature pays him.
What? And this is my very first video. I got 2 atheist friends. Every time I'm around them, I sneeze just to see what they're gonna say.
That video is hilarious. Never knew you were that funny.
I just got my first endorsement deal.
The nominees this year are...
I just wish she was more involved. I feel like I'm doing this all on my own.
Have you ever seen the movie War Room?
I don't really like Christian films.
Hey, where you been?
Hannah's play.
I am so sorry. I got all caught up at work. I was busy.
It's cool. Okay.
This is my first time. In like 20 years, I finally get to do something I love.
For once in your life, have some balance.
I don't even know where I got off track.
What if it's a test? What if you dove deeper into the Bible than you ever had before?
I can't afford to be sitting around reading the Bible.
You can't afford not to read the Bible.
It's got awkward.
A little bit, yeah.
I felt it. Everything's not perfect. There's no way I can ask you to be a better daughter if I'm not willing to be a better father. And I am.
God can do incredible things.
Some of these things I just can't fix without some sort of direction. And I'm finding it right here in the Bible. I'm Sophie Dad.
I thought it was the police. It's the brolies. We gonna be all right.
What's going on? This is Shantana with the Trackstarz. Make sure you go to Spotify and get our Milk playlist. That's the hottest in the game. All of Jeremiah's favorite songs get added to that playlist weekly, so you got to keep up with it. So follow it, listen to everything on there twice, all right? The Milk playlist on Spotify. Go get it.
What's up? It's your boy Scott Free, repping the City Takers movement, and you in the field with the Trackstarz.
Hey, yo, what's going on? It's your man, Ryan Righteous of the Trackstarz, man. I want to tell you about an awesome feature called the Music Submissions. You know how they say nothing's ever free? Well, that's a myth with Trackstarz. Send us your music. We'll add it to SoundCloud for free. There's also an opportunity for you to be able to get your song aired on the radio. For more information, email us at contactus@trackstarz.com.
You are listening to the Trackstarz with Sean Tanner, Ryan Righteous, and DJ Jeremiah.
Right now you're in the field with the Trackstarz.
Trackstarz.
Ryan Righteous. Sean Tanner. And DJ Jeremiah.
Right now you listen to the Trackstarz.
You know what time it is.
Good, it's your boy Name Gay, he Trackstarz music artist, and you are in the field with the family Trackstarz Radio.
Trackstarz Radio.
What's going on, Trackstarz Universe? This is Sean David Grant, aka Shantana with the Trackstarz. I just want to welcome you to the podcast, let you know about everything we got going on. Make sure you go to trackstarz.com to find out the latest in the Trackstarz universe. And also, please do us a big favor. Go to twitter.com/Trackstarz and follow us. Go to facebook.com/Trackstarz and like us. Go to youtube.com/TheFieldTrackstarz and subscribe to us. Do the same thing on SoundCloud at Trackstarz Universe. Everywhere you see Trackstarz, follow us, because you have no idea how much that helps us. Do that right now. Pause the podcast, whatever you got to do. All right, now come back and listen to the show. Let's go.
What's good, people? It's your boy, DJ Haddon. I want to give a shout out to Trackstarz Live. Keep it locked, y'all. It's going down right here, right now. You heard it from your boy, D. Hattie.
Yeah, back in the field with the Trackstarz, Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah. Was good.
All right, for all things Trackstarz, make sure you go to trackstarswithaz.com. Follow us on Instagram, like the Facebook page, subscribe to the YouTube channel, download the app, and every Monday when you subscribe to the YouTube, when you subscribe to the podcast, leave us a comment, all right?
All right, we are back with comedian Ron G. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, bro. Trying to get through the day.
Yeah, man.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's mad early for you over there, isn't it?
Bro, I got stripper hours. Get them this early? I don't get up this early for nobody but kids and Jesus. Doing a career day, and I'll be late for church, so I can't say Jesus, but I don't usually get up this early for nobody.
Wow.
Man, so we definitely want to find out more about you for our audience that may not know. Kind of give them an idea of how you got started in the business, kind of like who you are. We kind of said a little bit before, but you know what I'm saying? How'd you get going?
I live a really dope life, man. I literally do what I love for a living. I'm a stand-up comedian. I'm an actor. I've done a couple of cool shows. I've done Last Comic Standing. I've been on HBO's Insecure season 2.
Yep.
Actually, season 4, season 2. I was Kelly's boo. If you ever see the episode, I'm Kelly's boo. We had the episode of Swingers. If you see it, it all makes sense. You're probably laughing right now.
Yeah.
I'm an Emmy Award winner. I won an Emmy for the show I did on CNN called United Shades of America.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Traveled all over the world. I hosted the Laugh Factory in Hollywood on Sundays at a show called Chocolate Sundays.
Yep.
It's the dopest, longest running, most diverse comedy show in the nation. I've been hosting there for like 6 years, and I do a lot of great stuff with my life, man.
That's awesome, man.
That's dope.
So tell them kind of what got you into comedy? Like what launched you into that world?
Honestly, I sucked at the 9-to-5 life. I used to be an accountant, and I got fired from every job I ever had. And I felt like God was like, yo, there's more to your life than this. And I heard this really dope sermon by this pastor in Atlanta was telling me like, you know, God has a plan for your life and your purpose for your future. And I didn't know what it was. And so there was this comedy club in Atlanta called Uptown Comedy Club. My cousin, he was a comic, and he was like, hey, bro, you ever thought about getting on stage? And I was like, sure, I'll do it. And it was Apollo night. And I remember going up Sunday night, room full of dope dealers and strippers. And I went up and I had one joke and it was terrible. And I got booed, and halfway through the boo was okay. I heard somebody yell out, hey, nigga, kill yourself. And when they told me to kill myself, I heard them throw a boo grenade at me. And then I heard, boo! And I'm like, never got hit by a boo grenade before. I'm like, do I run or do I sit there? And then I went and sat on the steps where the DJ booth was, which is directly across from the stage. And the host was like, man, he was trash. He was terrible. Y'all give it up for Ron G. Boo. Ron G. Boo. Ron G. Boo. They said, y'all gonna boo his name? He kept booing me, right? And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna figure this thing out. And I just stuck with it. And I went back probably less than 6 months later, went back, killed it. And I was like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. And I just fell in love, and I never stopped doing it. And then probably the biggest thing that's happened, like a year and a half ago, I was on, had my own TV show on Nickelodeon. I was on a show called Cousins for Life. I was the dad on the show, really dope show, Black family, buddy comedy show. And it was dope, man. It was a really dope experience. But the crazy part, when people hired me, it was like, yo, we didn't know what kind of comic you were. You know, Nickelodeon, we have a very strict brand. But when they found out I was a clean comedian too, they was like, yo, like, you were like perfect for this job. And I was like, wait, God, you mean to tell me you set me up to allow me to be a clean comedian so I can get a job that's made specifically for me? This is what you're saying?
Wow.
And
dope, man.
Yeah, it was dope, man.
That's amazing.
Very blessed.
Yeah, so we knew you. You lived in Atlanta. We went to church. Me, you, and Jeremiah went to church together. So we kind of saw the genesis of all of this. So like to say we're proud of you. I mean, you already know that.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's dope,
it's amazing.
6 jokes in my pocket.
I want to ask you though, like, you know, starting in church and saying you're a clean comedian, like, what's that journey like? I mean, going to Hollywood. I remember when you moved away. What was it like? Was it difficult? Did you stick out like a sore thumb? Were you received by other comics? How was it?
Well, I didn't start out clean at all. I started out being cursing or being, I guess, dirty, I guess. And everybody in my life cursed, like my family, my friends. I was like, all right, this is what it was supposed to be. But I feel like what happened was the place I got booed at, I got saved right around the time I got funny. And I met this older comedian, and he was like, bro, like, you're a nice looking guy. Why you curse so much? And I'm like, I don't know. That's what you're supposed to do. You know, because I came up under a bunch of, Comic View and Def Jam guys. And he's like, you don't have to curse so much. And I was like, all right, cool. So I went back to the same place I got booed at, and I did a full set. And I think I got like I did 5 minutes, which is great on that night.
Yeah.
And I killed it. And I felt like God checked me. He was like, now look, and I stopped cursing in my personal life. I stopped cursing on stage, but I still cursed in my personal life. And I feel like God was like, if a pastor did what you did, you would judge him. So what makes you any different? You being phony.
Wow.
And so he checked me, so I stopped cursing in my personal life. So now, that's my lane. I don't announce it because when people say, when you say I don't curse, then everybody listening to you listen for the curse words instead of like listen to what you're saying. But it legit changed my life, man. And now like I have the ability to perform legit in any crowd, like from kids crowds, churches, corporate, and Nickelodeon. Like I get a chance to perform in any kind of crowd, and I performed behind Kevin Hart before and killed it. But this is what I do, and that's my gift. So I feel like he was setting me up for a long journey, even though I didn't know. It was uncomfortable, but I didn't know what the long-term effect of me making this one decision would be.
Have you ever been tempted to go back, or like for an opportunity, or what, like how to curse and just kind of do like a normal comedy set? Like
in the movie, I curse. Absolutely, I will. In the movie, yes. If it's somebody else's words, I'm like, I don't feel like as an actor you have the luxury of like, I'm not cursing. Like that just it's not realistic. It's not human life. You know what I'm saying? But on stage, I will never curse, and that's my commitment. But if it's like if you practice it and it's a habit, it's not a struggle. But if you tiptoeing in it, you ain't committed to it, like whatever you do and you ain't committed to will always be a struggle.
Wow. Do you feel like Hollywood is, because you always see people, man, Hollywood is this, Hollywood is that. What's something that you can give to the people that say like Hollywood isn't as bad as what people are saying it is? Or if it is, then just say
Hollywood is a big playground for creative people. That's what it is. And the hard part about Hollywood is I don't think people do well. Too much freedom is prison. You know what I'm saying? And so, back home, you accountable. When you go to church, some old black lady be like, I ain't seen you in a while. Where you been? Somebody checking up on you. But out here, don't nobody check up on you. So there's no accountability out here. You know what I'm saying? So you have to self-govern yourself. And for me, as a Christian in particular, all those messages I got and everything I said I was when I was in Atlanta in my comfortable environment, it mattered when I got out here because wasn't nobody watching me. Wasn't nobody making sure I did what I said I was going to do or be who I said I was. You know what I'm saying? So that's how, So you got to be accountable to yourself.
Ron, I have a tough question for you.
Go ahead.
So I asked you earlier if you knew Rayleigh Evans.
Don't tell no jokes.
You do that
please.
To me. I always do. Yeah. I came up with another dad joke, by the way, too. I'm gonna let you
Please don't do that.
but we understand with Christianity and with Christians, it feels like acting is separated from who you really are in life. Does acting get a pass for you to do any type of role that you're called to do, or is there some roles that you're just like, I can't do this because?
There are certain roles I won't do, and that's from not necessarily my faith. It's just from me as a man. Like certain stuff I just won't do, and I'm comfortable with that because I feel like as a human being, you got to set your own lines and govern yourself. Like even me being a comedian, I can go to any comedy club in America and get a free drink just being a comedian. Or when you're funny, women like that. And the comedy club is typically 80% women, so you're responsible for. The hardest part about comedy ain't being funny or business. Is balancing yourself and regulating yourself. Most people don't have boundaries for themselves, so you are responsible for giving yourself guidelines so you can prosper.
Wow. Yeah. Anji, how real is the movie Top 5 for a comedian? Like, was that really the life of a comedian when you saw that? Like, if you ever saw that movie with Chris Rock?
Which part in particular?
Well, there's a part in it where he's like when he was talking about he was on stage and then girls and all the stuff that comes with the lifestyle of a comedian. Like, was that accurate?
It can happen, but again, I don't like headaches and I like my privacy.
Yeah.
It's that simple. I done gave a girl my number, and by the time I got home, this girl hit me up like, yo, I heard you gave my girl your number. I'm like, yo, no privacy. I don't like that. And I never called her. I was like, I can't do that. I appreciate my, being active on social media and being pre-famous, you don't get privacy no more. And I value privacy and I value peace. And I feel like most men, until you value peace, you're gonna keep having headaches.
Wow.
So now the church we came from was like jam packed with creative believers, right? And there was a community of people. I remember, being in destinations, you had so many people to turn to for inspiration, but also to check you. You know what I'm saying? I had a sore word with the destiny. We ain't gonna get into it. But but leaving Atlanta. You can if you want. But leaving Atlanta, do you feel like you missed that? Were you able to recreate that same scene there that we had in Atlanta?
Absolutely not. LA is literally a desert. If it's built in the desert. The thing I like about Atlanta, there was all community and everybody in my environment lived and looked like me. You know what I'm saying? But out here, nobody cared. So being celibate in Atlanta with a bunch of people that's like you is different from being celibate in LA. You know what I'm saying? Because don't nobody care. And now that girls call me gay for like, you celibate? What you celibate for? I'm like, all right. And I'm like, I had to be like, I forgot why I'm celibate. I don't even know why. Jesus told me something. I'm like, Jesus told me to go home. I think he told me to leave. It just feels different. And so I had my phase where I wilded out and I was like, I don't like the way this feels. Like, I don't like, trying to be this perfect guy. And again, I feel like my life in Atlanta was running a marathon, eating soul food. Sorry, jogging and eating soul food. But LA is like running a marathon and eating snacks. Spiritually. Wow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So not getting that same kind of word, not having that environment, you just feel like you by yourself all the time.
Do you feel like, I'm sorry. Do you feel like this?
You go ahead.
No, I'm gonna let you feel yourself.
No, you're right.
There's no delay, by the way. It's not like the news where they like, we in sync. There's no reason for that.
Yeah.
No,
Do you feel like? I'm trying to make. I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
Give me a second, Chris. Jeremiah.
You good?
Give me a second. Now, I believe that's part of the reason why I got married, man, because I feel like every man gets to a place in your life where you outgrow your friends, you outgrow your family, and there's nobody in your life that kind of gets you but your lady. You know what I'm saying? And my lady, we spoke the same language, and I didn't feel like a weirdo. Because even as sometimes a Christian or if you're creative, I got to call myself crazy so other people don't feel uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? I'm a dreamer. Most people aren't dreamers. So when you start talking about your dreams and all the crazy stuff you do, they like, what? I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just crazy. Like, no, I'm not crazy. I feel like it makes more sense for me to do what I love versus going to a job I hate just to make my family happy for going to college. Like, I used to be an accountant. Now I tell jokes for a living. I make more money than probably both my parents in 1 month. You know what I'm saying? Doing what I love. And I'm a homeowner.
Yeah.
So it sounds crazy from where I'm from, but out here it's like so normal.
Wow.
What's some things that people wouldn't know comedians can like do besides just stand up?
Most of us think we rappers. FYI, if you ever meet a comedian, tell him to rap. I'm sure he got bars on him.
I can't remember. Have you done Wild 'N Out yet?
Nah, I didn't do Wild.
Would you do that?
That's my brand.
It's against your brand?
No, probably no. About 10 years ago, I probably would do it. Now I don't. It ain't my brand.
Got you.
I don't think it's necessarily in my lane. Nothing against it though. I think it's dope. I had a lot of my friends on it, but for me, like, I did it 10 years ago, but now it's like, nah.
It's not in your lane.
I'd rather be in a movie.
It seemed like that's almost a requirement to be on that show to rap and do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
What was the question?
No, I was saying like I think because it's almost like when you get in the entertainment field or like doing hip hop music or whatever, it's like once you realize like, oh wow, I could be a producer, I could do this, I could do that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
What's some other avenues a comedian can go?
Comedy has introduced me to so many different things, bro, and it makes me. It's like you don't realize until you look back, like why God allowed you to go through all these things and put these tools in your tool belt. Like I have my own radio show, I got my own podcast right now. I'm a writer, I do voiceovers, I do commercials, I'm an actor, and I love all these things equally, across the board, which before, going to a 9 to 5 and in a cubicle all day, I wouldn't even known I had these talents, you know what I'm saying? So doing radio is a joy to me. I love doing radio. Like radio is the dope thing I love to do. I enjoy doing my podcast and just talking about grown man stuff.
Yeah.
And actually me and my wife just came up with this game show, man, that we do on Thursday nights on Instagram, which is really dope too. So, it just makes your mind open up and you come up with really cool things.
What would you recommend? What would you recommend to somebody with talent? Because I remember when you moved out there, would you say make the jump to LA if they're comedians, actors, whatever? Like I remember you, Coors went out there. A lot of people from the town went out there. I remember you came back one year and you were like, dude, you need to come out to LA. I was like, nah, I'm good. You're like, no, you need to come out to LA, bro. You did.
That speech to people.
You did tell me that.
I say this because I don't know. I feel like I always want to tell people what they should do, but it's a certain level of faith that comes along with that. Like it's easy to go to church and hear them sermons about faith and everybody running and shouting, but your life is work, church, and home.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I try not to give that speech anymore because there's no ceiling out here. And it's some of the most untalented, non-believing people out here that are successful. They are rich and don't believe in nothing. So if you have all this faith and you ain't doing nothing with it, what's the point? What is the point? So I hear like I can do and be whatever's in my head. If I have a thought right now, like I had a thought of doing a game show, you know what I'm saying? And me and my wife talked through it, and you know, she helped me come up with the concepts and all this other stuff. And now I'm doing it. Like whatever's in your head can actually happen, but we're not taught that that's a real thing. And Black people are some of the most creative people on the planet. If you look at everything that's dope about social media, from TikTok videos to all these challenges, it'd be some kid in the hood with no money, and then it becomes mainstream, and now you see Oprah doing it. You like, it came from some kid in the hood. You know what I'm saying? But those things are real, and I feel like we're a brilliant group of people, and we have the ability to create Wakanda, like for real.
Yeah.
Wow. That's good. So what's your, because you say you whatever you dream up you can make happen. What's the big dream for you? What if you see your career 10 years from now, like what is the thing you're reaching for?
For me, I want to be the best clean comedian in my generation. I want, when people say Ron, they immediately associate like, yo, he's the dopest clean comedian of it. Like when you said Sinbad, everybody knows what Sinbad brand is.
Yeah.
When you said Bill Cosby a long time ago, like everybody knew what it was.
I like how you said a long time ago.
Long time ago. Like, but then you knew what, like he was his lane, like he was dope at what he did. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I want to be that for my generation. And I want to be do a bunch of white folk friendly movies that everybody loves, and you take your entire family. But
you're on the right track with Nickelodeon, so.
Right. And I have this, my podcast is called the 2-Piece Podcast, the number 2 PIECE podcast. And it's about personal growth for men. And basically it's that big brother conversation. So for men, it's the starting point. Because I feel like most men, we don't have a starting point to get our life together, to quote unquote get it together. Like women have brunches and conferences and, you know, women rock conferences, and men, all we got is women, wine, and weed. And we, you know, meditate on these things. And, you know, out here ruining lives, and we don't have a starting point to make our life better. So my podcast is dedicated for men to do that, but also it's the cheat sheet for women who, you know, you want to know how a decent man thinks. Like it's a really good starting point.
Yeah.
And that's one of my passions. And I believe that that'll be one of the things too, that like take off, and it'll be like, when I go to a city, the daytime I'll do my podcast. And then at night I'll do my comedy show. And it's really dope, man. So I feel like that, and you know, me and my wife partnered up and doing like relationship counseling stuff like that, and couple stuff, and writing a book. That's all the part of the brand.
I believe it. I mean, that's kind of where this show came out of, is the need for men that believe in God or want to believe in God or on the cusp of that, stepping up and having somewhere to go to really work out some of these things that are on our minds. Like you're right, there's not a lot of outlets. Honestly, you look around, there's not a lot of people that I can even think of that are in a position, especially single young men, for these ladies out here that I would say are ready or I would recommend and all that kind of stuff. There needs to be somewhere they can go to get built up. Where are they supposed to turn? So I appreciate you.
Funny story too, man. Thank you, bro. And funny story too, man. I believe like before I met my wife, before we got married, I probably had like 5 years of popping. Won an Emmy, Nickelodeon TV show, Insecure, like all this stuff was happening. And the year I got married, I didn't book one thing. They canceled my show, and I didn't book one thing. And I kind of felt like, God, like, do you see me? I just got married. I'm responsible for this woman. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And then when the year was over, I was like, I asked my pastor, because he had a episode, sorry, not episode, but he had a service where he was like, if you guys want to ask any questions, you know, let me know what you think. And I was like, it was just open, you know, just open forum to ask any questions. That's like, yo, question, man. So before I got married, my life was popping. I made a lot of money. You know, I had a good year, and I got married, nothing happened. Like, is God telling me like, yo, I need to chill this year because I got married? He's like, bro, you already won. He said half the battle of success is having your partner to go through it with you.
Wow.
And I realized that first year of marriage was the most important thing. So I didn't work at all. But me and my wife got so close, and he said, imagine if the career that's in your head happened this year, first year of marriage.
Wow.
You're on tour three-fourths of the year. You're gone. You're in movies. You're never home on your first year of marriage. What would your marriage look like?
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, touche, God. So basically, he
was protecting you.
Sleep with my wife.
Yeah.
Have me be battle tested. So when I take off after this quarantine is over, which I know is about to happen in 2 weeks, when I take off, I'm battle tested, and I won't make him look bad. You know what I'm saying? Because I also believe that my marriage is going to be on a pedestal where people are like, oh, okay, well, if you Christian, then why you know what I'm saying? So I know my marriage is visible, and I always, put out that I'm married on purpose. When I'm performing, I always mention I'm married. Like, it's just, I do that on purpose. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want people to like not know, or, it's just, that's when them attacks come. When you don't say it and you try to separate your life from what God has for you, like, that's when you get those blind spots and you get attacked. But because I put it out there, most girls don't even say nothing to me because they know, like, my wife is dope.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's awesome, man.
Ron, I think I have a question for you for our audience, because the universe is, we talk about this a lot. When you met your wife, what was she doing to get your attention?
Yeah, okay.
Can you tell this story?
No, I'm going through my file right now. But I'm just trying to figure out which direction I got want me to go. Honestly, man, I fell for my wife because she's the first woman I ever met that I argued with, and I still felt like she loved me.
Oh, wow.
Like, we had a hard argument one time. It wasn't bad, but it was just like one of them ugly arguments. And when she was done, she was like, and we were sitting in the car, and she was like, look, I ain't mad, but and I'm over it, and I love you, but if you still want to talk about it, just let me know. And we in the car, and she started looking straight, and I'm sitting here driving like, just like, this what we, okay, cool, you're gonna make me deal with myself by myself. Okay, this is what we doing. And honestly, I felt loved even when we had disagreements, and I never had that before, because I think being a Christian man, sometimes you become a fixer.
Yeah.
You pull out that tool belt, and I've mostly dated girls I had to, pull out that tool belt for. And when I met my wife, I was like, I don't need my tool belt no more. And I realized my tool belt was for me, you know?
Wow.
So that was one of the first things. And, my wife, she's actually African. She's African. And she used to work 6 days a week. And I'm like, why you work so much? She was like, well, I have to send this money to my family. So the 6th day, I send that money back to my family. And I was like, who's these people? And she was like, I don't know them, but I have to send it to them. And I was like, you send money to your family that you don't know? I'm like, somebody in my family asked me for $20. I got questions like, what you doing with $20? Yeah, you better not be smoking on them drugs. You hear me? You better not be on them drugs. So I just saw her heart, and I was like, yo, you were absolutely dope, man.
That's awesome, man. Thank you.
That's really good.
That was a great. Dude,
But
everything you said, Ryan, I believe it.
Yeah,
bro.
man. Yeah.
Yes.
Like you may not know this, but we've been rooting you on since you left Atlanta. Every time I see you pop up, like, yo, it's Ron. Babe, come here. Like, I promise you, man. Like, we are truly, truly proud of you, man.
Yeah,
and
man.
I see everything you see. I see it. So
thank you, bro. I really appreciate that, man. And I'm learning, man. I feel like, honestly, my wife was a missing piece. I feel like I wasn't supposed to take off until I met my wife.
Wow.
I'm watching a lot of my friends who are very successful and they single, and you have blind spots, and everybody on their team is getting a check. And it's dangerous to be that person because you don't know who's watching you.
Yeah.
You don't know who really got your back. And my wife be like, look, he cool, but that dude was looking at me funny. I don't like all that. You know what I'm saying? Or,
wow.
He cool, but I don't really. And so to have that person who, like, she don't care about my hype. She's like, yeah, you dope, you hilarious, but take the trash out. I ask you one thing.
Yeah.
And you can't take the trash out? Like, that's okay.
She don't care who you are. Yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
Yes, ma'am. I'll do it.
That's good. So just remember, man, you got a family here always. We love you. You can come back on anytime, man. Just know that you got not just us. I mean, the whole everybody watching. You now, they family.
Appreciate
so.
y'all. I can't see y'all, but come here. Thank y'all for having me, baby. Thank you, baby. All right, sure.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back into it. You in the field with the track stars, Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah. Hopefully the same video don't play again. Let's go.
Don't turn your back, don't turn your back, don't turn your back, don't walk away from the one who loves you, thinking of you. You would struggle, you would pray. Don't you forget, don't you forget, don't you forget who made a way, and he didn't bless you, call you special, for you just to fall away. Hey.
Yeah, I have my moments when I feel like it's all good, and if I forget to pray, it's understood. Poverty will motivate you in a way that money never could, and some blessings keep you off your knees longer than they should. I was was, overly dedicated to being elevated, hated, pushed down like the gas, I accelerated. Feel I made it on my own, my grind got me here alone. Lying to myself, my basic instinct like Sharon Stone. You brought me out of Egypt, now my money right, I'm eating, I'm relieved. I'ma need my mornings, evenings, and my weekends back. When everything is wrong, I'm in full agreement. But when everything alright, I show partial allegiance. I'm wishy-washy, probably Deuteronomy 8:11 would explain my current state of autonomy. My heart in its entirety is at war with piety. False idol, slum guide, counterfeit,
don't turn your
deity, the
back,
eye.
don't turn your back, don't turn your back, don't walk away from
Don't
the
do
one
it.
who loves you, thinking of you. You would struggle and you would pray. Don't you forget, don't you forget, don't you forget who made a way and he didn't bless you, call you special, for you just to fall away. Hey.
Yeah, life ain't promised except for those with the promise. Cut a lot about my problems, but I chose to be honest. They be asking, Bombay, what's the problem with diamonds? What's your issue with this money? We supposed to be shining. That's the issue, cause you think the shining come from the diamonds. That'll make you ignorant and broke. The shining come from the knowledge. That's why if you got an arm, they let you dodge grades in college. $1 million contracts, but you getting robbed in a fine print. If you're illiterate, your success may be illegitimate. All you care about is money, so do the people you are dealing with. You think they care about you? No. Messiah care about you though. They only care about what they can do without you. Introduce you to an unfamiliar lifestyle that steals your faith. Now being far away from Yah is a familiar place. Hustlers repent, take advantage of his grace and faith. He call us back way before we walk
Don't
away.
turn your
Okay?
back, don't turn your back, don't turn your back, don't walk away from the one who loves you, thinking of you. You would struggle and you would pray. Don't you forget, don't you forget, don't you forget who made a way and he didn't bless you, call you special, for you just to fall away. Hey.
Hey guys, this is Miracle from Trackstarz. I wanted to make sure you all know all about the official Trackstarz universe. If you'd like a free Trackstarz t-shirt, free merch, discounts, exclusive content, and direct access to your favorite radio hosts, then this is for you. Make sure to check out trackstarz.com/official. Again, that's trackstarz.com/official.
You're in the field with the Trackstarz, running with the Trackstarz, tracking with the Trackstarz, in the Trackstarz universe. Ooh, 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 stay on track with us. We don't have to keep it low key. You are what I want. Move your love. You seen it all and you still want me more than I'll ever know. Ain't no mistaking, no time for wasting. I can't contain it. It's your love I'm craving now. You seen it all and you still want me
Sean Tanner. It's the field boys. You in the field, boy? It's the field boys. You in the field, boy? You tuned in and locked. Trackstarz. We beating on your block. Trackstarz, yeah. I'm repping the most high king like mama, I made it. Trackstarz bringing the real, you love it to hate it. Live in line with the kingdom, the second to fade it.
What's happening? What's happening? This your man Brinson, God Chasers Entertainment. Buckle your seat belts for line. Vote Christian though. Yeah.
Yeah, back in the field with the Trackstarz, Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah. Was good.
All right. Make sure you go to nectardistro.com if you're looking for music distribution to all the digital outlets. We've got direct deals with Pandora, Spotify, iTunes, you name it. We've got an opportunity for you to have your music heard. So make sure you go to nectardistro.com today. All right.
All right, man. It's time. Line for line. Jordan Lucas versus Bizzle. Let's get into it. The views and opinions of the Trackstarz and the Trackstarz universe are not the views and opinions of the artist, the label, producer, or others. If you feel offended by this, please press stop now. If you've never heard of the mainstream artists and thinking about checking them out, please press stop now. We try not to do the same artists over and over. If you're a person like I'm a Christian who listen to Christian artists and this ain't your cup of tea, we understand. We got noteworthy topics and interviews you can go check out. We're not copying any other battle formats. We've been doing this since the 2000s. Bizzle is not the Christian version of anybody. It's just a bit. Okay, so here we go.
We got and Ryan. I don't know. Do you know the format? Do you know what we're doing? I know we kind of told you beforehand.
A little bit, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we got 6 rounds. 6 rounds. Vote for who you got. You get one toss up if you can't decide on one round, but that's pretty much it.
And who are the artists again?
Jordan Lucas versus Bizzle. You're here with it. What's going on? All right, here we go. We're going to start off with Bizzle first. This is called Who's the Man? All right, here we go.
Homie, what the issue? He don't know I'm with the ish too. And my wife and kids with me in this whip too. It's going down. My wife is saying chill, but the man in me is saying, how you let him play you in front of your family? What, you scared? I threw my hands up, my wife put him down. She said, the kid's scared, baby, look around. That's when she put her hand on my chest and said, no, they gon' remember how you handled this test. And if I fail, it ain't no telling what it's gon' cost. Real talk. So I just took an L and then I drove off.
All right, that was Bizzle, Who's the Man. This is Joyner Lucas, Gold Mine. Here we go.
You know you too lit when you stretching these bands. You know you on top when your enemies fans. You know you too blessed when they think you a threat. Try aim for your neck, but I never be scared. We was on drugs, I was packing all the work. Couldn't find a spot, we was trapping out the church. Boost mobile phones, had me waiting for the chirp. Fresh to death, I was waiting for the hearse. Cats keep fresh, had the weight going crazy. Show up to your door like the Avon lady. I could be the GOAT, but that hate won't save me. If niggas hate me, then they hate Tom Brady. Go against the grain and you gotta be brave. She don't like me, then she gotta be gay. To take me down, and you gotta be paid. There ain't enough money.
All right, that was Joyner Lucas, Gold Mine versus Bizzle's Who's the Man? Who y'all going with?
Ryan, what you got?
All right. I'm gonna go with Joyner Lucas on that just because of the way the beat hit. It just delivered something different for me. So Joyner Lucas on that.
Ron G, what you got?
That was definitely Joyner Lucas.
I love that Bizzle song, but yeah, I think Joyner got that one. What you got, Jeremiah?
I'm going with Bizzle because he was being a grown man in a tough situation.
Biz. All right, so that's what? That's 3-1, so they don't
Joyner
matter.
Lucas, yeah, online doesn't. All right, so that's the first round goes to Joyner Lucas. All right, so this is round 2. This is Joyner Lucas first. It's called Finally. Here we go.
Okay, I'ma do me, you do what you gotta. I go where I want, ain't gotta tell you nada. I've been hustling, I've been cooking up the Betty Crocker. You been struggling, you been chasing after every dollar. And I used to be around now, cold-blooded. I'm just petty, I've been holding on to old grudges. Oh, you think you know, but you don't know nothing. Oh, you opinionated, who you think you, Joe Budden? I still think you do the most, though. Now ghost, though. I'm that nigga, I still got my fucking mojo. You love the drama, and I think you need your own show. If you call me, it's a no-call, no-show.
All right, that was Joyner Lucas, Finally. This is Bizzle, Crazy. Here we go.
like I'm living in the middle of a war zone. Spiritual and mentally, but they don't know the war zone. Never knew you to let the devil in your home. How you wanna let him in it, television or phone? We stuck in the matrix, we running around with sin and loving and seeing how much we can play with. Wanna get close to it, saying you won't do it. Thought you was in control, it was nothing but dope music. Mind stuck in the zone, you ain't wanted to go to. And now you're wondering why you be on what you been on. Doing the most, your thoughts don't want to do what you want them to. Can't get your head clear, cause for the last 10 years, all you heard was hack a ratchet, then you
All right, that was Bizzle, Crazy versus Joyner Lucas. Finally, who y'all going with?
Ryan.
I'm gonna go Joyner Lucas on that one more time, just because I like the flow pattern on his better.
Ron, what you got?
I'm gonna go with Bizzle on that one. I give that a 5 stank face rating. Rate the music off the stank face. He's like, okay, that was stank.
Yeah, I love the Bizzle record, man. I love the flow. I know it's not everybody's taste, especially from depending on where you're from. But I thought he murdered that. That's Bizzle all day.
I am going to say Biz. I'll go with Biz.
Biz. All right, so it's up to online. What y'all got? I see a lot of Bizzle.
Bizzle got it 3-1
already.
Yeah, I said Bizzle. Ron G said Bizzle, and you said Bizzle.
Oh, I thought one of y'all switched. Okay, so it don't matter.
One online though, but it's 3-2, tied 1-1 going to the third round. All right, this is who did we do first last time? I think Joyner Lucas, Lotto. Here we go.
I hit us all over. Told them this is all over. I take the kids on drugs and line them all up and get them all sober. I got a little check that I cashed out, ayy. Credit card maxed out, ayy. I get lit then I act out, ayy. I ain't want to do it, but I blacked out, ayy. They say I need to be safe. I think I need to be straight. Fix your vibes, you need to be late. You just need God or you need to be mates. I left my baby, we just need space. I got gunners like Chris, like Neezy. I got brothers like Tip, like Breezy. I got stunners like Wayne, like BG. I got a hood.
All right, that was Joyner Lucas, Lotto. This is Bizzle, Fill My Cup.
We owe you more than a play. You close till we know that we gon' get away with the bag you rolling, though you going astray. But it's sad it's only when you broke and you pray. Knowing it's true, I'd rather be broken in two if that'd get me closer to you. Than front like I'm whole when I know it's a hole in my soul. You the only one know what to do with it, holy and true. To you be the glory, I study you like a historian do. I'm a warrior with a sword that could turn an enemy of yours into freaking warrior fool. God over money, the movement, you blackball who? I smack your black ball with a pool stick. We too sick, we already know the truth is.
All right, that was Bizzle with Fill My Cup versus Joyner Lucas, Lotto. Who y'all going with?
Ryan.
Yeah, that was Biz easy on that. That was Biz easy.
Ryan.
The second one was who?
Bizzle.
Stank face rating at least 4.
I'm sorry, Ryan. Who did you say?
I said Bizzle.
Okay.
Man, I went back and forth so many times in that. At first, I was like, when I first heard Bizzle start, I was like, I'm gonna go Joyner. And then throughout the verse, he just started making me go, oh man, I gotta pick Bizzle. It's Bizzle. He killed that. Mm-hmm. He won that on his own. So it don't matter again, right? What you got, Jeremiah? It's up to you.
Yeah, it really don't. It's 3. You got both of y'all said Bizzle. I'm gonna go with Joyner on that one. Okay. So it was 3-1 Bizzle. All right, Bizzle is 2-1.
It looks
right
like
for the total.
Looks like Bizzle online too.
Yeah, Bizzle online too. All right, so
what's the overall right now?
Overall, it's 2-1 Bizzle.
Okay, we still in the battle.
Yeah. All right, so here we go. This is round 4. We start off with Bizzle, Christ Gang. Here we go.
Make them a mockery, but how can a potter be mocked by the pottery? Honestly, gotta be hard to think that you don't need a hedge. You might as well try a lobotomy. Unashamed, rebel, I'm an anomaly. God's property, I'm stopping them properly. Woken feeling like I hit the lottery. God's body, I got him inside of me. Kamikaze for the body, this a homie. Try to stop me, you could die if you want. We about it, been about it, finna be about it. See about it, hop in the smoke. If you with them, we the same team. If you ain't with them, then you gang green. Why play with the grace given? Put your faith in them and be made clean. Bizzle.
All right, that was Bizzle, Christ Gang. This is Joyner Lucas, ISIS.
Man, where you at now? Now my hit him to the jumping, I ain't tripping. This is nothing. I've been living in the dungeon. I done held a couple grudges with the heckle. I got a jack to meet the devil. I'm a cousin. I ain't settling with nothing. Got the medal in the truck and keep it semi when the bus ducking. Even Stevie Wonder couldn't see it coming. I ain't judging. I just want the money. I don't need a budget. I've been hungry. I ain't got no oven, but I got the hundred. How you gonna move on the front line? If I don't with you, I just cut ties. My high school teacher said I'd never be to that I turned out just fine. And no, I don't know you for the 12th time. We do not share the same bloodline. You let her run your mouth.
All right, that was Joyner Lucas, ISIS versus Christ Gang by Bizzle. Who y'all going with?
Ryan.
I'm gonna go with Joyner Lucas on that because I can relate to that high school teacher line because I had some high school teachers tell me. Yeah, you know, I had a high school teacher. The counselor told my mom I wouldn't make it through a 4-year institution, that I needed to go to a tech school.
Dang.
Graduated from Clark Atlanta, baby. I'm gonna talk about my GPA though. It was good though. It was good.
Ron G.
That's all that matters. I'm gonna go with Joyner Lucas on that. It reminded me of Jaden's Batman song. Got the same kind of vibe to it, and I like that song.
I'm gonna go Bizzle on this one. Again, I think his flow is surprising me. It's top notch, man. I got Bizzle.
I was going with Joyner on this one. So
all right, so
that's 3-1.
Another
Joyner
one.
Lucas wins that round.
Yeah, it's more back and forth on this one.
Yeah, it is. Now it's 2-2 going into the 5th round. We're gonna start off with Joyner Lucas this time. It's called The War. Here we go.
Hey, my dudes, I ain't gonna lose. Word. Hit him with the hand of Devo. All of you birds is Dan DeVito. I'm a die legend like Dan Marino. I just blew a check at the damn casino. Stroll through life like I ain't got rules. You think I ain't shit if I ain't got you? How you gonna walk if you ain't got shoes? Hey, shorty shooting bullets from the Pontiac. She a ventilating hypochondriac. She just wanna know where the Molly at. I just wanna know where the party at. I'ma leave it where I got you at. Man, you done let the dog off the leash. Can't talk to me now, I'm harder to reach. You don't belong to me, you belong to the strike.
All right, that was Joyner Lucas, The War. This is Bizzle, Smoke Free. Here we go.
They hate the way that we rap. Pave another way with each step. Patiently they wait for me to fail. God stay with me, I can't receive an L. Basically I'm made to be the head, but they say that we were made to be the tail. To thank the king for saving me from hell, I'ma bang with everything in me that's left. Running in my lane for the whole time. Gunning for the game till it's on time. Never had to wait for the cosign. Never had to praise in a bow tie. I ain't ready for whenever, when is it go time? I put the pedal to the metal and hit the goal line. I put the metal to the devil and let it go pow. No lie, it's God over money.
All right, that was Bizzle, Smoke Free versus Joyner Lucas, The War. We are going with
Ryan.
Man, I'm taking that Bizzle Smoke Free all day.
Ryan.
Me too, bro. I'm gonna go with Bizzle on that one.
I'm not as sure. I'm gonna toss this one. This is gonna be my toss. What's that?
Oh, you can toss it? Nobody
yeah,
told
you
me
got
that.
one. I told you that. You got one toss. All right, Jeremiah, what you got?
Bizzle.
Bizzle. So what's that? Did y'all all say Bizzle?
Yeah.
Man.
I think all 3 of them are Bizzle.
All right, guys. They haven't been involved in this at all. None of y'all votes matter. All right.
All right,
So,
that's 3-2. Bizzle about to go into the 6th round. What you about to say, Ron G?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought somebody was going to say something. All right, here we go. This is round 6. We'll start off with Bizzle, Lucky You. Here we go.
Hi guys, I've arrived, it's me, the Bible guy. I was only trying to shine this little light of mine, trying to give sight to blind, trying to rewire minds line for line so they could be everything God designed. Why would guys try me like I couldn't if I decide to put them in dirt and give them this work 9 to 5? Rifle at the Eiffel, willing and ready to snipe at any guy you idolize, bombing like I am Mike Witt, Al-Qaeda type fist, kill a rival with this mic of mine, simple as pile driving a knife into a slice of pie, and not the MacGyver type, Michael Myers size, every line up inside.
All right, that was Bizzle, Lucky You. This is Joyner Lucas, Will.
I feel like I'm dreaming, he truly a blessing, I'm really elated. I pray that he grow up like Willow with Jaden, I know that he will. I hope he look up to me like we used to look up to Phil. I know that it's real. I lay a brick at a time for something I know I can build. I learned it from Will. I know ain't nothing gonna set us back. You take it from me, I get it back. Me and my homies forever strapped. We roll up on them like Men in Black. I blow your chest to your head and back. I think I done made a mess. I'm in Cali with a vest. That's the Wild Wild West. I told my homies I'm good with the labels. I don't need to sign or dots. They must not know me. They cannot.
All right, that was Joyner Lucas, Will versus Bizzle, Lucky You. Who y'all going with?
My guess is that's his tribute to Will, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna toss on this one.
Ron G.
I know exactly why you tossed, but I'm gonna have to go with Joyner Lucas on that. I seen the visuals to it, so it kind of gives him an advantage.
Yes.
Visuals was crazy. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Joyner on that one.
Yeah, I think I'm slanted because I saw the video, man, and it's genius. It's genius. And the remix, that was Will's best verse ever.
Oh yeah.
I've ever heard him.
Oh man, I gotta
ever
check
rapped.
that out.
I didn't even know he could do that. So I got Joyner on this. What you got, Jeremiah?
Joyner Lucas as well.
What's the overall score now?
3-3.
Oh wow. Okay. Bonus.
So you know, Jeremiah, I'm expecting something on round 7. I hope you do it.
Okay.
No pressure.
I hope you do it.
No pressure.
Yeah. You want me to tell you what it is? You want me to
No. I think I know what it is. I think everybody in the chat know what it is too.
Yeah.
All right, man. Cool. So round 7, no toss-ups. You got to pick a clear winner. All right, here we go. Joyner Lucas first. Devil's Work.
Tupac back and take niggas shook. Let the legend resurrect and he gon' live for good. I been screaming thug life in every different hood. If only you can bring it back, Lord, I wish you would. Give us Biggie, give us Pun, give us Triple X. Take that Trump with you, that's a bigger threat. There's too much power for a coward with no intellect. That's a bigger with a collar, there's a disconnect. Dying, mama crying, grandma need a tissue. Shooting up a church, now I need a. All them still living, you don't see the issue. But how you taste a leader, then you take a leader with you.
All right, that was Joyner Lucas, Devil's Work. This is Bizzle's response to that Devil's Work's response. Go ahead.
The God who created the earth. I knew you start feeling yourself, so I made you from dirt. Ain't no battery in your body, so who making it work? I made the earth perfect, it's y'all making it worse. Who put the seed in the fruit, put the fruit in the tree, and that tree in another little seed but me? Then turn around and made you the same way after that. For you was in your daddy's sack and his daddy's sack. I am the one that put breath in your lungs and created the same mind that you question me from. You were lost, I'm the way, I'm the potter, you the clay, and now the clay got something to say. Okay, you can never.
All right, man.
That's as fair as it gets right there.
Devil's Work response versus Joyner Lucas Devil's Work. Who y'all going with?
Ryan.
Listen, I thought Bizzle was so creative on that Devil's Work response that I loved that song when it came out, played it over and over, and I introduced other people to it. I'm proud of it, so I'm going Bizzle on that.
And I'm going to go with Joyner Lucas on that one.
Wow. Okay. All right. So since this is clip for clip, I think overall the song Joyner did was better, but that clip, I think Bizzle killed it as a response, like God responding to his song. I don't see anybody doing it better than that. That's Bizzle for me. What you got, Jeremiah?
I wish I could toss. I will say I like Bizzle's, but then also I like Joyner Lucas. So I'm in the middle, man. I don't know. I'm gonna say Joyner Lucas. I'm gonna let the what's the name decide.
All right, it's up to y'all. What y'all got? I see a lot of Bizzle. A lot of Bizzle. Bizzle? No, I don't trust you anymore. What you got? What y'all got? All right, Damo, call it. It looks like it's gonna be Bizzle, guys. They said round 7 wasn't fair. Larissa, what are you talking about?
Saying because it was God responding to God's criticism.
I don't see what's not fair about that. All right, it looks like it's got to be Bizzle. I see way too much Bizzle.
This is like Bizzle.
Yeah.
So Bizzle won.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Okay.
Yeah. That makes sense.
4-3.
All right. So I heard that Ryan had a joke for Ron. You wanted to run past.
Are you ready?
Yeah, you ready for this?
All right, Ryan. I got a
so
dad
coming to the
joke
stage,
for
y'all
you.
gonna love him, man. He's 1/3 of the Trackstarz. Super hilarious. This is his comedy debut. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the stage. Show some love for Ryan.
Yeah. What's going on, everybody? All right, so I got a joke for Ron. Ron.
You don't have to say that either when you just say the joke.
Oh, okay, got you.
It takes away from the punchline. Just say it. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, modern day Moses runs out of the building frantic and mad. What was it because of?
What, sir?
His staff. Jeremiah!
Well, Jeremiah can't play dad jokes. He laugh at everything. That don't count. That don't count. Don't take no pride in that.
That didn't catch me though. Come on.
There's no victory. There's no victory there.
I need the universe to let me know if that worked.
Jeez.
That worked?
So this is our first episode of Make Me a Comedian. Ron G, how did he do?
Is there any other sides that come with this corn that you give him? That was corny. I think what killed it for me, what gave you some benefit, is Jeremiah. He lost it as soon as you said it. Right? I feel like he heard it before, and it was his favorite joke.
No, I did. That was the first time I've ever heard that.
Jeremiah is the best audience for anybody. Bring him to the show because he laughs with heart, like you feel it.
Yeah, one thing you need to know, Ron, out of all the track stars, I'm the bravest because I'll try anything if you just nudge me.
That joke was one of them. You did that. You tried that. You tried.
You know what was funny? After I showed my wife the version that you did, and I started giving them to her in the car, she was like,
so funny.
And then I was like, you gotta laugh at one of them, and she was like, okay.
So funny. I actually wrote all that stuff in one day, man. So I was
did?
I wrote it all in one day.
Wow. So what's the teach Ryan or all of us? How do you construct a joke? Like what's the break it down for us?
The first thing is you don't say, "Hey y'all, I'm about to tell you a joke." You never say that. Hey y'all, you want to hear a joke? Hey,
here you go.
You never say that.
I'm gonna make you laugh.
First thing. Most of my stuff is situational. It comes with my life, man. Sometimes stuff just fall in your lap. Like when I said the white lady got pushed into my app store.
Yeah.
Pushed her pretty hard. Like it was bad. It was pretty bad, but I don't know where it came from. And in Minnesota they was protesting. Who idea was them to loot the Dollar Tree? I mean, out of all the stores, somebody's like, you know what, y'all?
Let's go to Dollar Tree.
I've had enough. Listen, Dollar Tree.
Listen, real talk, Dollar Tree is probably like the only place you can get those tear jerkers from back in the day, and I love those. So
that's candy, though. Let me tell you something. That whole dollar store is empty, but you know what's still there? Lotion. That's why they went to Target. Black people, we don't fool with no dollar store lotion. You have to go to Target. Like, hey, y'all, let's get Target now. They got the good lotion. They get the Nivea, the 48-hour Nivea.
I do have a question though. What is the setup to writing a joke?
First is you have to say a premise that makes people that brings the people together. Like, you ever so and so, and hopefully nobody stupid actually answers it. If you say like, hey, you ever so and so, they're like, yeah, I have before. Like, you ain't supposed to answer it. You're supposed to open your mind up, and then you go specific. You say the punchline, and then you flip it at the end. I know it sounds really weird, but
you got to subvert it somehow.
Yeah.
I always thought the first rule was confidence, right? Having confidence in what you're about to say, because for me, my heart was beating the whole time I was getting ready to say that joke, the first one, right? And when Sean was like, yeah, you got to do one live, I was like,
right.
And so then I had to muster up that confidence to be like, yo, even if nobody laughs, but thank you,
That's
Jeremiah,
comedy,
you
though.
saved me. Yeah,
that's comedy though. Yeah, he did. He bailed you out. But
when you said you got,
he did this when you laughed.
Yeah. And when you said that you got booed out and you came back 6 months later, that had to be like really hard.
It was, because I didn't know what I did wrong. Like, getting booed is a terrible feeling because you don't know where to start. You want to be like, hey, can I ask you a question? Where did I go wrong?
Yeah.
Hey, excuse me.
We have a Q&A after this.
Hey, dope dealers, listen. Strippers, please listen. You want to ask
did you know that night that was the room? Like, did you know, or it was obvious when you walked in?
I've been there before, but again, it's different when you're on stage. When them lights hit you, everything started going in slow motion. You guys don't like me at all. I'm gonna go home.
Yeah.
I don't want to be here no more. I want to go to sleep. Like, everything is in slow motion, man. But it's funny, with Black people, I know you said confidence is the first thing. The first thing is appearance.
Wow.
I think comedians lose just based on their outfit alone. If your outfit is terrible around Black people, somebody gonna yell it out and you gonna get roasted. That's it.
Wow.
That's it. Your outfit is the first thing, then confidence.
Honestly, comedians to me are geniuses. You met me as a spoken word artist. I learned how to write watching Def Comedy Jam and Comedy Central specials and HBO specials, because it's something in the way you set somebody's expectation one way and then hit them with something that they didn't think about until you said it. is incredible to me, and I learned how to pace through spoken word pieces or raps or whatever because it's the same art, it's just in a different form, and it's amazing to me.
So for me, my gift as a kid, I used to draw all the time. I used to draw a lot, and my gift is I always saw in pictures. So comedy for me, I'm a very physical comedian, is bringing stuff to life that I see in my head. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, like I mentioned when I said the girl got pushed into the app store, you saw the app store and you like, yo, that's hilarious.
Exactly.
Exactly. Or
I can't get out.
Yeah, I wrote this joke like last week. I was talking about how I had a friend of mine, they posted pictures of their wedding during quarantine. I'm like, who getting married during quarantine? I said, first of all, I celebrated my 1-year anniversary. If I had to get married this year, let me tell you something. That would have been a sign from God I'm not supposed to get married. The world falling apart. The world is falling apart. I can't go to work, and we're supposed to get married.
What more do you need?
Hey, the only way I'm getting married this year is for shelter. Like, you may take your mask off and kiss your bride. Like, hey, the reception will be at the Zoom Fellowship Hall. If you ever want to visit the Zoom, here's your password, and it will be catered by Grubhub. Grubhub.
Dude, man, once again, thank you.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you, Ron.
Thank
really
you, sir.
appreciate you.
Tell them how to find you online if they want to follow you.
Hey, so actually, please be sure to follow me, Comedian Ron G, Comedian RONG on all forms of platform, especially Instagram. I post really great videos every single day. Also, I have a really dope podcast I do called the 2-Piece Podcast, the number 2 PIECE podcast. Ladies, you're gonna love this show. Please don't block your blessing. Make sure you check that out. And it's for the fellas, but please make sure you check that out. Also, every Thursday, me and my wife do a cool show called Couples Couch Game Show. If you're a couple, you're brand new in a relationship, and you quarantine, or you've been together married for 20 years, please be sure to tune in. You and your Corn King and Corn Queen, please stop by. Check us out. It's on my Instagram Live, Comedian RONG. And tonight I have a Zoom comedy show. Actually, matter of fact, tonight and tomorrow. Tomorrow's my Chocolate Sundays Zoom show. Last week we had 300 people. It was pretty dope. It was chaos, but it was dope. So check that out as well. But just go to my my page, Comedian Ron G on Instagram, and I'll post all the details.
Awesome.
What time
man.
is that?
Tonight?
Yeah.
Tonight is 8. Tomorrow is 7 o'clock. I think 7 o'clock.
8
anyway,
PST?
Yeah. Everything is PSD.
No. Yeah. Pacific time.
No, and yeah, at the same time.
No, I was saying we're on Eastern time, but you're talking about Pacific
just
time.
Out of habit, so it's PST. I call it West Coast time. Black people be like, PST? Like, no, West Coast time. West Coast time. It's Los Angeles time.
Thank you, man. Once again, we love you. Come on
man,
anytime.
Appreciate you.
I really appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all for having me on, man. It's good to hear some good brothers have some dope conversation. And Jeremiah, I really need you to get a mustache sooner than later.
I haven't. I did. You shave it, man. Right, it's much easier, man.
Jeremiah is the one that ran out and went to the barbershop.
What you say?
He went to the barbershop. Nobody else has been out yet.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, he went.
So I need to get it. So I need
you
to
wanted
get
to last longer, huh? You wanted to last longer.
He went to the barber like, hey, make me look like freshman year. He was like, say no more.
Say no more, fam.
He said everything but your eyebrows. Only thing left was his eyebrows.
This haircut has to last 3 more months. Make sure you go all the way bald.
All right, y'all. Let's get back into it. You in the field with the Trackstarz, Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah. Let's go.
It's crazy. I knew what I wanted ever since H3. They was on Disney, I was on JC. Born for this thing, so don't play me, don't blame me. Yeah, I ain't have cable, but I had you. Before the 50,000 people in the bathroom. Yeah, turn my bad news into mad views. Yeah, I have you, I'm glad to. Through the ups and the downs, you stay down. Yeah, always have my back. You've been the same, never changed, and I love you for that. I won't be surprised if they hate on the side. They can stay on the side, cause you always gon' ride. Yeah, you've been there for me. Yeah, all I really know, you've been there for me. Yeah, all I really know right now, you've been there for me. There for me. Yeah, you've been there for me. There for me. Hey, yeah, that's the move. You love me for all these girls thought that I was cute. Big head boy from Virginia, that's the truth. But the underbite kid with the suits, yeah, I had the suits. We had rough times, but we made it. Yeah, I was skipping meals up on the daily, taking lips to the stove, dedicated. Now look at us, we got the city going crazy through the ups and the downs. You stay down, yeah, always have my back. You've been the same, never changed, and I love you for that. I won't be surprised if they hate on the side. They can stay on the side, cause you always gon' ride, yeah. You've been there for me, yeah. All I really know, you've been there for me, yeah. All I really know right now, you've been there for me, there for me, yeah. You've been there for me, there for me.
All I really know you've been there. 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 All I really know you've been there.
Through the ups and the downs, you stay down, always have my back. You've been the same, never changed, and I love you for that. Won't be surprised if they hate on the side. They can stay on the side, cause you always gon' ride, yeah. You've been there for me.
My weapons focus on the enemy, don't put my mouth on people. Celebration for the run and keep the motive kingdom. No opening, no ego, and one moniker is dripping. No chicken heads but eagles, and nothing but love is given. Pressing through transition when everything is shifting. Hypersensitivity hitting a little different. Had it to hit with ignorance and running in the brick walls. Wrestling with price tags and questioning the call. Talent take a back, see what's popping with that walk. How salty is your salt and how transparent is that talk? Cause there's a need to see a season breed from good stock. Equipped for fixing breaches and sprinkling seeds talks. Command the heavenlies on behalf of the broken lost. Overthrow depression, not letting go of the rock. Bitterness in the heart starts fidgeting and getting hot. This deliverance from God and your position is a part or a part of a greater word. Take away debating over church. Dang it, settle your search. Get your hip replaced and get to work. We never been rappers. Mixing up the method with the ID that I disease. Bananas in a tailpipe or hygiene. Yet I lean on the everlasting. Why everything you feel led to do always render in detachment. Folly making fragments. Divorces from attachments that leave us in a bracket of addicts to handy habits. Get us right, Lord. Break us from the inside. Bring life, Lord. Moving what you're made to do it. Show up with a timely word, right, Lord. Break us from the inside. Bring life, Lord. Moving what you're made to do it. Show up with a timely word.
I ain't trying to be the goat. I'm trying to be the sheep. One that got rid of the moat so that I can see. I ain't trying to be like Nicki, but I'm next to Meek. Yep, Xing out the old man like he's Safari. Call me petty, but I parted with my past. Repented once I found the Lord stretched out like elastic. I retracted all my bad acting, wreaking havoc on the lavish grace of God. I was lacking. Here's what happened. He transformed my lukewarm, removed my X-Men through storms. Hallelujah, got my sword, fishing for men for different purposes. I'm certain living, worshiping His holy name is worth the end of my story. I'm in glory like the OR. Brought it to Seattle, peep the ladies with the dope bars. Christ in the highs and lows, just like the ballets. Got the keys to hell and death and out finale.
Here come the lioness, riding in like a pilot. The Bessie Coleman, I'm flying, a pioneer of the all nights. Emitting light and ignite life like dynamite. I'm screaming, run to the light, quick like Caroline. With torches light in the night sky, it's a call to Christ. I be that vessel, nothing special, give it all my might. I got that doctrine in the kettle, hear that whistle strike. Scriptures glow through the metal, aim like iron sights. Kill the flesh with the special, spiritual Remington. Keep the spiritual fit, doctrinal venison. Switch up the regimen, here's to the new specimen. Unified with a team and they all strapped with the testament. 39 in the old, 27 in the new. So at that 266, you know how we gon' shoot. And if the truth is how we live, you see that proof in the roof. Go ahead, pay attention, what your girl gon' do?
Iron sharper iron, man, that's excellence for quad. So the squad been cutting ties, control circles never thriving. I got the eyes in line when I remind that they complying by the power of the divine. In the work of my G-fine. God's image spitting convo, give it dope flow. Foreign ensemble, man, I'm live on professor.
working with.
Now, I'm in the field with Trackstarz right now. I had a blessed time. Hopefully, you guys are listening. If you're not, then you're losing. Until next time. Until next time.